Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne with Utze. It's the Ukrainian Carcassonne Online Championship, and it's not the championship, it's the cup this time, and it's the semifinal, adrear versus Nazario. And as you can see over here, they've played quite a lot of games against each other, and quite a few of them are or were pretty close. There's one outlier, it's this year, 128, 193. Well, it's because it was a five-player game and not even one of them scored these points. It's just a bug. So, adrear hovering at slightly below 700 for now. He reached 817 or something this year, whereas Nazario only once peaked at a bit over 700, so barely achieved the master rank. And I'd say overall, adrear should be the favorite today, as he's likely against quite a lot of folks. So let's check. They haven't started as of now. Let's check if they are both online. And if they are, I guess they'll start soon. For now, let's have a look at the bracket. As I said, it's the cup, not the championship. And whoever wins this will play in the final against Smile or Basiliuk. So let's refresh again, and here we go. It's a best of 5 with, let's say, 20, maybe 25 minutes per game. It'll take a while. Let's hope we'll get to witness interesting games and a match that's not over after 3 games. So default options for now. This year is a bit iffy. Not sure I would have gone there. Quite likely I'd rather use this cow at the bottom and hoped to draw a cap before blue would be able to attack it. This way now opens up options for blue, yeah, like this, and then later kill this, but yellow draws starting tile just in time. Maybe deliberated whether to meeple the field right now, but there are still options for this year to become a ruin, and then you'd be stuck with 3-point field for now. So rather wait and see is their motto. Yellow closes the road, opens up another city, business as usual. And blue here, well, what to do? Try to kill this maybe. On the other hand, maybe just put something over here to block this square and removing a few pieces out of yellow's options to attack, or obstruct your city. Yellow might just, I would have said open up another city, but this here in some cases works to kill blues. This time it didn't. Blue stashes the remaining cap as safe as they could. Of course, still daggers out there. Yellow kills this one here now, likely hoping to win the mini battle by building a bigger ruin than blue straight might be in the end. Tricky choice now. This here could be considered if it weren't for 2 daggers already gone. He still does it and gets the punishment immediately. Or won't he? Well, I would strongly consider this one, yeah. Even though you'd rather add the shielded horse to your ruin over here. The additional upside would be to limit blue's road. But almost killing this here definitely is worth the investment of 2 points. Blue curbs this one, so at least a few pieces are taken out. And if they may kill this, then it would be pretty nice for them, and they'd win this mini battle. Well, this here secures the ruin, but I guess taking 2 points and later connecting would be or would have been okay as well. So yellow invests nice Dorito there. Bit frightened to use it over here due to the 2 daggers being gone. Well, the other way would have been an option as well. Still 2 of the right-handed daggers remaining. But this way they just secure 4 points, which is the same as adding this to your city, which then would only net 4 points if it would be completed later. And this gives you options. Well, no, it doesn't give you options of really blocking this. Not anymore than were existing beforehand. And now we'll see a farmer. No, we aren't. Well, then, still not. Nice monastery. And another one. over here could be interesting, creating a lucrative field. So the rear might even considering farming there. Else there would be this option, limiting the road and forcing blue to add pieces to your monastery. And this also would indirectly protect yellow city on the left side, because blue couldn't as easily continue road and then attack or obstruct the city. So a bunch of nice options here. And 4 meeples in hand. So yeah, he chooses this one, and I think that's definitely a good choice. Rather play it safe with the field and hop on it later on. Yeah, this time blue could take the 3 points over here, maybe. Takes the 2. So it looks like still hoping to draw the remaining dagger and maybe 2 more Doritos to still close this one. And why not? It's alive as long as it isn't. Yellow preferring to take 2 minus, no, not minus, both monasteries get a point, so 2 points instead of 3, because they want to have the option to kill, or rather limit, this road to the dagger, which is already needed for Blue's city. And the 1 point they invest by losing it, or by not getting it now, might be a worthy investment if you at least are able to kill or bind this long enough. And if blue were forced to decide whether to continue their city or the road, they quite likely might choose the city. Although when you get this one, there'd still be options to attack the city again. So using a dagger on your road might be the wiser choice, but we'll see. And Nazario could prevent this, but limiting yourselves to a curve and then needing a road, and well, isn't really great as well. Continuing at the bottom, why not? And now the farmer, while Nazario closes this city. And will we see an insurance farmer by yellow somewhere here on the left side? It's only 2 meeples in hand. This might be a bit problematic. But if they don't, then blue would. And that's why there is the insurance farmer. Blue saves their road for now. Still, The same options could be available for yellow later, and they also could limit this square to the remaining left-handed dagger once they get a piece that would allow them to do this. Instead, blue limits the square and unifies yellow's fields. So it will be interesting to see. Right now it's at 5 cities. And there's a lot of open green real estate on the left. And I'm not sure that blue will get the chance to outrun this field and win fieldless here. There's also a nice monastery spot for yellow and still 3 monasteries in the deck. Blue's well, best option as of now would be this one, but the block to the second dagger will be incoming any moment now via this just created platform. And then it's a dead city and the ruin. And then blue will have to scramble to win this one here. Yeah, nice priorities by yellow, creating the monastery spot to be able to liberate this one with another monastery like this. Yeah, which would be perfect, but it also allows a block by blue, and not just a block, but field attack as well. At least hypothetically, blue would have to invest a few pieces there. For now, they attack the conventional way, and then they need to get road ends to liberate their meeples. Meanwhile, yellow doesn't block over here. So this city is still alive if blue decides to go here. And I'm not sure they will. Problem of this here, though, would be leaving this empty. And that's why they decide to close the city there and hope to draw a starting tile or rows before yellow gets anything with city plus field, or maybe a big city tile. Again, blue prevents yellow from killing their road, but that's a point to yellow's monastery as well. So 0-point move just to protect this road meeple. This square is dead. No more daggers out there. This city is still alive, although this extender is tough. But given there aren't enough Doritos out there to close it the conventional way. Adding points to a possible ruin isn't the worst of ideas. So let's see if they still believe in the city. This could still work, although it's very likely to be blocked over here. But even if yellow would use one of the road pieces, which they'd likely draw, you'd still have 2 city caps left to close it. So yeah, only the city pieces to really block this, like this, or this would be even better for yellow. So let's see if blue decides to go here, or maybe just tries to connect there, but then this would give a city option back to yellow as well. Again, pretty tricky situation, and at -10, this connection would, for the moment, all be a -6 point move, so you're not really that interested in connecting there anyway. And that's why they hope to still outdraw yellow. Nice move by yellow, limiting this here to the remaining splitter. And now that city is dead. But this one will be in a few seconds as well. Nazario still has to check whether the daggers are really gone, and they are. Hi Sergey, I can switch the colors if it's necessary, but I'd rather do that after the game. It's just my default setup. The home team, which is adrear in this case, gets yellow meeples. So blue is at -10. And they desperately need to get points here. And where to get points? Well, liberate your damn road up there. For example, with a rose, add a farmer, get a bit of luck or love even from the deck by drawing the next available city cap. And then we'll see. But now, quite likely you have to dump this piece somewhere, and looks like this one would be a safe option because this is the last city cap with a field. The remaining ones are 2 curves and a starting tile. What else to do? Yeah, leaving this there for yellow to take works out. Now you have to take the farm and hope to draw the caps. And if you manage to draw both of them, I'd say you have a good chance to still win this one. Meanwhile, yellow got a second meeple in hand by liberating the monastery. So +9. Now blue doesn't get a starting tile, which is a shame, but this here works. But they need the starting tile right now. And even if they'd get it, adrear could rather safely close this one and maybe attack the field. Let's consider the points. For now, he's ahead at 6, and worst case would be blue getting 8 points. But why should he even close this one? It's the last city cap available apart from the starting tile, of course, which blue use up there. So he'd rather score 2 points over here than 1 point there. And he could also then leave this empty. For example, like this would work. Let's check if there's any option to score 2 points and also add this to their field. At least, oh, there's one. Over here, scoring 2 points, leaving this there. But would this be enough is the question. So blue will get will need the starting tile on their next turn. Yeah, this works as well because it gives another option, namely drawing the quadruple city tile before blue gets the starting tile, but blue doesn't get it anyway. So this game goes to adrear. And in the next game, he will play with blue meeples, just to not confuse my dear viewers. At least the ones who are familiar with these players. Everyone else might be a bit confused, but well, I'll take that. So let's switch. Adria playing blue, Nazario playing yellow. Yep, Adria drawing what he needed to close the 6-point city, and Nazario now thinking whether he should play it safe by using the monastery somewhere at the bottom, or by being a bit more aggressive going over here and then hoping to build a road here to be more effectively using road pieces, but also with the risk of getting blocked there, or not blocked but obstructed, because it's the early game. All the pieces you need to get out of that problematic situation are still in the deck. Here we go. Starting tile needed for yellow. More annoyances, likely like this. Or do you rather continue your city and then go for the kill there? Yeah, this works as well because then you could use curve and Dorito to kill this here, for example. But he opts to just equalize Nazario City. Works as well, I guess. This positioning has the added benefit that there's no option to directly attack it. And even though 3 field Doritos are already out, there's still the option of closing this like that one. Ideally with Doritos, not wasting any precious city caps there. And then you don't even mind adding a starting tile there to help yellow's 2 meeples. 3 vanillas in a row. Blue adds another city to the scoreboard, rather the 4 points they got for this city. Yellow adding the extender, pretty natural moves. Penultimate Dorito drawn by Nazario. But this option here is still alive. It's not just the remaining field Dorito, but the 2 diagonal splitters as well. And sometime down the road, it might become likely for yellow to do something about it. And that's playing with fire. And with 2 right-handed daggers gone, some folks might even consider this move. Limiting this square, sure. Yep, a safer way, just closing the city here, still hoping to draw Dorito or Splitter, but no luck at that. Yep. Give your opponent 1 point, but make their time a lot worse than before. And create options to take the ruin or city away from them. Just in one move, the piece that's sometimes annoying as hell. That's productive use, and that can be found in creative ways sometimes. Well, now monastery and road are killed nonetheless. So the investment of this starting tile only helps insofar as yellow can still extend the road to the left. At least it's already at 9 points. Meanwhile, adrear took this field, or let's call it the main field. It's not a small one. Added this city by using the monastery over here very wisely. Still a lot of straights out there, and he even got one on the next turn. So perfect draw. Didn't take the road because it's too dangerous. Yellow at -10 uses a wonky cow to attack the city again. Won't be easy to close it, but stealing the 11 points from blue might just be enough in this case, and then maybe building up this one as a ruin should work. Talking about ruins, this one just became one as there's no right-handed dagger left. All three are already on the board. Will we see this move? No, it's the farming attack just to take the road. And you successfully execute the attack, so pretty efficient move here. Let's see if it will work. And it perfectly does. Excellent odd vision by Nazario. So main field tied, score almost tied, but severe meeple majority for adrear. And it looks pretty likely that blue will be successful taking over the field again, and in the end winning it, rendering this yellow farmer here moot, and then even the ruin on the left side quite likely won't be enough for yellow, so they should hope to be able to still close this, but with 2 attacking options and 1 immediate killing option, that's very, very, very unlikely to be successful. And considering there's only 1 vanilla left and there are these 2 options, they don't use the monastery there to defend, and I think that's the right choice in this case. But what's then the winning option for yellow? How should yellow win this game if they won't close this city? Scoring points, and somehow in the end tie the field again? But that might be the only option. City's dead, of course. Yeah, I don't see the winning path for yellow here. Except for scoring points. So getting all the quick point tiles, getting caps, and drawing way better than blue can. There are still few clunky pieces out there, but also 2 monasteries which blue could use very profitably next to their monastery up top. They even create the square, although this could be reduced by yellow to a 50-50 flip for either monastery. Oh, that's kudos for trying. Tough luck that your opponent gets an immediate counter. And I sure expect them to use it over here. Oh, even this orientation, I'm not sure exactly why, but okay. Getting the quadruple city, so the double whammy against this one. That's really tough luck for yellow. And there's no question here. You have to add this to your city. And if you'd go on the left side, well, then you'd risk an immediate kill. So quite likely you have to put it here, hope that your opponent draws starting tile, not a starting tile, a straight and not, damn it, a straight or a crossroad to then be able to still close it, but they aren't recognizing you could still close this with a splitter, but tough luck again. Blue gets the perfect counter piece again. The crossroad killing this square. And as there are no meeples by yellow, which could be liberated, blue will win this one. They only need to score 4 more points, plus everything, equalizing everything that yellow would still score by adding to the ruin or their open road. And I need a translation. Looks like adrear has some ideas, likely saying something, I guess something about why use this over here. We'll see. Okay. If I get this correctly, or rather if the translation is at least halfway accurate, adrear suggests a 5-minute pause for Nazario. Maybe one of my Ukrainian viewers could chime in whether this is a psycho move or if he's serious. Because it could be both. Yeah, so adrear will take this game home. Scores a few city caps over here. Also added this one. No, there is. I'm sorry, there's no connection here. So quite likely will take this field. So the 9 points here with any piece, and even better taking 12 because this one is also added. Yeah, not even 45 minutes gone, and Nazario in a big hole. Which he's, well, even in the best of circumstances, unlikely to climb out of. Looks like 3-minute pause. I'm so glad What? I think the translation isn't accurate. Okay. Um, I wanted to say I'm so glad that we are all using the same characters for numbers. Or at least it's easy to guess what they are saying. But adrear still has to place the piece. Not sure why he didn't already. But really looks like he wanted to take the 3 minutes pause right now. Well, then let me quickly highlight one other thing. In 75 minutes time, there'll be another stream, and that's the German Carcassonne Online Championship. It's Group B's final game between Medusa Hope and Mermadine. And as we can see over here, both are at 2 games, or rather matches played, and 2 match wins. And so it's a do or die game because only the top 2 qualify for the semifinals. Whoever will win this one will secure even the first place, because both have or will have better tiebreakers than Loishi, Mermadine outright, and Medusa Hope by beating Loishi beforehand in their encounter. So definitely an interesting game, fighting for the top spot in this group. I hope to see you there as well. And if these two are taking a break now, well, then I'll do as well. Okay, let's check. What could have Nazario done differently? Well, this year is always a bit problematic and can turn south quite fast, but most often it's fine to have a road next to your monastery. Not sure when this was curved and when this curve was placed and by whom. Must have been a yellow one, but then it's a bit iffy. And they continue, and I know they are playing a tournament, and that's why. Yeah, and why is this not full screen? Here we go. And that's why adrear chose to take the break while the clock is running, because in between tournament tables, breaks are limited. So let's see if Nazario is able to beat the odds and come back in this match, or at least win a game here. I mean, this was a bit unlucky. He, of course, could have drawn the monastery And then it might have turned out the other way. Who should play blue? Adrear should play blue, right? Hey, Kolpnik again. Yeah, I think you're spot on. By the way, is it really Kolpnik or is it Kolpnik? I think it's an L after the O and a 1 next to the N, so Kolpnik might be the intended spelling, pronunciation. Is this a rage quit or is this just a connection problem? I'm just kidding, folks. Guess he's still online. Yeah, sure, you're welcome. So for everyone out there, it's Kolpnik. So intended lead spelling. Yeah. Looks like Nazario won't get away with anything today. Added the cap, still hoping, and bam, immediately comes the move by your opponent, gets a nice piece to attack there, but not the perfect or best piece because due to 2 splitters still remaining, blue might be forced to connect here, but that would leave an attacking option, and it doesn't even matter if he uses a cow or a Dorito over there. Both would give the option. But doing nothing about it, well, then there's the risk of your opponent drawing the splitter or one of the 2 splitters. So the best option for blue might be to continue here and then kill this square. But that also entails the risk of what shall we do? Let's say we use this one. Then we'd have the splitter attacking option. In this case, it would be only a 50-50, but it could happen. So there's arguably no great way for blue to continue there, and that's exactly why the Dorito isn't a prime piece to attack like this, but it was blue's only option, so they had to do it. And again, they can consider if they want to connect here. And again, they don't because they have a better move. Blocking this square, preventing yellow from liberating this road meeple with a horse or sometimes even a rose. Also, it's the second square limited with a neighboring yellow road. So if you manage to kill both, you could even win a mini battle with the meeple minority here. So 1 meeple lost by you, 2 by yellow, but you'd outscore them nonetheless. Yellow prevents this, but there is the problem that blue could close this city with 3 caps. If they'd invest a cap over here, well, we'll see. And now let's add the starting tile and the dagger to the critical pieces. Meanwhile, Nazario finally gets a bit of love from the deck, takes this city, and with it, a 16-point lead. So this looks nice. Also got the monastery, which has further upside because it'd be rather easy to stack more monasteries there. Boy, no. No, 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 no. Y you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't. There are still 2 starting tiles out there, and there are a lot of city caps out there, and even 2 extenders, so it was very likely for blue to draw a useful piece to either close or extend their city on the left side. And so you've added this one to your opponent's city and gifted them the 75% chance to close this city. I'm sorry, but no. No way. No way. And now you kill the best monastery spot. Oh. Ah. This looks like me. Looks like me. No, it looks to me as if Nazario is on a good way to waste a perfectly winnable game against adrear. And again, connection problems, which quite likely won't help with the nerves. And take away precious seconds from your clock, which you might need later on. We are just 26 tiles into the game. And he already had nearly 9 minutes left. Yeah. Do I have to say anything about this? Well, the good news is Nazario still is in the lead, still has, for now, a meeple more in hand. Well, there's no great way to limit this square, but quite likely you do it now and limit this to the 2 remaining crossroads. Else blue might draw a curve. And meeple the field as well. Farmer. And then you like to get your hands on a monastery, of course. In the meantime, The road end would be useful. Yeah, protection, definitely interesting use by blue. Instead of going over here, for example, just to protect the city cap. Sure, they didn't want to endanger both cap and monastery on the left side. And definitely not liberating yellow's road. So it was this move or this move. It looks like blue won't put anything over here as long as they haven't closed the city there. So to me, this looks like a chance for yellow. Try to add pressure here. Try to limit this. Most likely, so it needs the remaining right-handed dagger. But you need to invest 3 pieces there. That's annoying. Blue then decides to use something there. Gets the first splitter. So only one remaining for yellow, which still would be critical. Yeah, blue over here doesn't really work, because there's only the one dagger remaining, and the block from here would be as easy as it could get. So the question quite likely is going like this or like this. In both cases, you'd still have 2 pieces left to fill this hole. The problem of this option is leaving 2 caps. The upside of leaving these 2 caps would be no, not this. Maybe a continuation like this later on, taking a secondary field. But it's a tricky situation, and not an easy choice. And I definitely wouldn't have picked blue taking this one, and well, sure. This gives you better options to close the road in the long run, but if you can limit your opponent's monastery to exactly 1 piece, why not do it? Luck of the draw, they got exactly this piece, which then definitely brought to good use by killing this square. But that's just luck of the draw. That here was a voluntary decision. Again, connection problems. Time management wise, this still should work out. But if this happens again with a minute left on your clock and still 3 tiles to go, it would be or could be pretty devastating. Yeah, Nazario finally able to close that road, but he might have considered taking the 3 points here to later arrest Blue City, but with still 2 left-handed daggers out there, this wouldn't have been that big of a problem for Blue. Still chances to liberate this, but arguably, if your opponent doesn't do anything about this, it's better for Blue. Blue takes a juicy 9-point ruin. So yellow hopping on another road. Well, there are still road ends out there. Dumping an extender, always annoying. And they definitely need the monastery. And they need a monastery before Blue gets one. Now they attack this ruin. Hope to connect it before Blue gets to do anything about the square and maybe kill it. This here was the last city plus road piece in terms of horses or Doritos out there. So any curve from the bottom would kill this. Yellow pre-closes this monastery spot, so creates an evil hamster, and this as well might just be it. Blue drawing the monastery immediately, extending their lead. Yellow closes the gap, at least temporarily, by connecting to the ruin, but Blue threatens to take over the field, which would add 6 points. So 13, and 13 is what this ruin on the left scores. So we'll see if yellow will take or try to take over this one, and there is only the one connection piece, and well, Blue gets it immediately, and now they can safely connect there because there's nothing that yellow could do about this, as there is no piece left to connect here or there. All Doritos and all big city pieces are gone. And there's still hope for yellow. Even after all these moves, there's still hope. Sure, they are down 9 points, and Blue threatens to take another 6-point step on the right side with more or less 3/4 of the deck. This is not the way. This is something else. This works because yellow definitely needs more ammunition. So the only problem of this for Blue was that it creates another attacking option. They take the points. Yellow attacks, of course, but Blue quite likely will connect now, because there are options for this to go south. like this here, blocking to a non-existent dagger, and then maybe at the bottom blocking with the curve to the last remaining curve and drawing it. So I guess they'll play it safe and go over here, else there is an option like this, but I don't think that's a great idea. So at +7, still not over. Oh, totally forgot that they could close their city, but will they? Maybe. This would be a 9-point move for the city, +6 for the field, -4 for yellow's road. So net 11 points, but you'd give your opponent another meeple, which could be employed to attack this field, and if yellow then were able to successfully take it over, well, then you might lose the game. So just leaving this empty here and prioritizing a second option to attack the field is their chosen MO. And with still 2 monasteries out there, which could be used by blue on either square, plus the curve. Well, let's say if yellow places this crossroad there, then they would have at least one permutation to win this game by getting both monasteries and the curve. They don't. And now, guess this could work, but it doesn't help them because they are 15 points behind, and they need to draw these two to prevent blue from taking the field over, and need to win the field themselves, and this curve does nothing for this. Sure, it blocks the square, so blue can't use the straight to connect, but they don't need the straight to connect. -9. So they definitely need to draw the monastery to use it over here or at the top for 6 points. And then score 4 points now. Does anyone see 4 points with this right now? Because I don't. And I even forgot that blue would add another point to the monastery, so And I miscalculated somewhere, so even 4 points wouldn't have been enough. Um, yeah. So interesting choice by blue going over here, but looks like it was one of the decisive pieces in this game. And overall, with all these pieces to still connect, quite likely even the best decision. Okay, so not the tight game, not the tight match as I had hoped for, but at least a pretty tight third game. Overall, I think, sad to say it, but Nazario didn't play to the best of his abilities. And adrear deservedly won this match and will get another crack at a Ukrainian title in this cup season against either Basilyuk or Smile. Okay, then that's it for now. And as I said earlier, in about, what is it, 45 minutes, there'll be another stream incoming. The last one for today, I promise. It'll be the GCOC Online Championship Group B final between Medusa Hope and Mermadine. It's a do or die game. The winner will move on to the semifinals. The loser will be out for this season. So I hope to see a few of you then. And if not, well, I'll see you on one of the next streams. I'm a bit tired if you haven't noticed already. So I'll take a quick nap maybe. See you later. Bye.